reminiscing on all my whole journey, on what I've achieved in the past month. But on the court, it doesn't pop into my head. Yeah.
Okay, Amazon Prime documentary. That's what this, because this is when I first became aware of you. What are your thoughts now, a few years later, on that?
I don't know. I think a lot of people got to know me through this documentary. So obviously a big privilege to be part of that. A lot of people will come, oh, are you the girl from Amazon Prime? Yes, that's me. So now hopefully I'll be known for more things than that.
For sure.
But this is it's so nice to have these memories and these moments captured on camera.
Yeah, cool. US Open junior title. I was there when you won that.
You were there?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Yeah, just as a fan, but yeah, I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was such a precious moment. I feel it was so full of emotion, and yeah, I started crying, and I feel like, of course, Junior Grand Slam doesn't guarantee anything for the future, but it's a huge achievement, you know, and it's still a decoration, you know. I think just the word Grand Slam and to win it in those courts, I feel, representing my country, it was a big deal. Yeah.
Cool. Actually, representing your country is something I want to speak to you about, because this image here is sort of also about being from the Philippines and being a professional tennis player. What does it mean?
Yeah. I feel like the biggest advantage of representing my country is the community, you know, and the pride that I'm able to bring when I do well to my people, and they come out, they support, they really make the effort. So I'm so appreciative. Yeah.
Cool. Next one is graduation from the Rafa Nadal Academy. Obviously, Iga and Rafa were there present. What did that mean to you when that happened?
I was super excited because every year I would see who was the celebrity guest or who was the guest speaker at each graduation. And I remember there was Roger, I think Paul Gasol was there one year, and I was so excited when it was Iga, because she had just come off a slam win or something.
Yeah, I think the French Open was the week before, because Rafa just lost to Novak, I remember.
Yeah, I remember, and no, it was super happy, and I think Iga told me that I remember that she said she'll see me around on tour, and I was like so excited, you know, and it happened. Yeah, it definitely happened.
She did see you around. This is after the win against Iga.
I know. I've watched that video so many times, and it's just so heartwarming. I really tried to just stay in the moment and remember everything, how it felt to be there. But funny story, like I can't really remember anymore. Like I can't really remember what I saw or that moment right after the ball went out. So, but
do you remember how you were feeling or thinking on match point, or is it almost like you're watching just the video and you don't remember it?
No, yeah, I do. I remember. Yeah, I think I felt.
It was on the turn, right?
Yeah, normally when match point comes against these big players, you know, you're trying to get yourself to stop thinking about what would happen if you win, because, you know, but those thoughts didn't come to me at all during the match. I feel I was in a state of such focus that, you know, and I couldn't really believe it when I won. Yeah.
Cool. Then this went viral, this moment that you had afterwards, where obviously you'd lost to Jessica, but you know, I was watching this on TV and I thought, wow, this is amazing. I mean, obviously, hopefully you can have more of this, but again, what do you remember about this few minutes after you'd lost to Jessica?
This was such a sweet moment for me. Definitely, let me tell you, I'm definitely not normally like this when I lose.
No.
But this was definitely a special circumstance. I remember the last couple of match points, I was able to save a match point, you know.
Yeah.
And I just tried to prolong the match as long as I could, because I knew that this is where I wanted to be. And then after I sat down, after the handshake, I looked up and just so many flags of the Philippines and so many Filipinos. It was past midnight, they were there to stay, and I had just had the best run of my career so far. So there was so much to be happy about in that moment. Yeah.
Cool. So that's
Yeah.
that. Now, this is quite recently, I believe. I think this is
Yes.
after you won. But also I want to know about Rafa and the influence both his academy, but even Rafa as a player, has had on you.
Well, I've been there since I was 13, so obviously deeply rooted with the academy. Rafa has been a role model, you know, someone to look up to for so long, and I think the values match the values that the academy instills matched with the values that my family um, had when they were raising me. So that's why they felt so comfortable to send me over there. And of course, they have a part in a big part in my game. Yeah.
And Rafa the player?
Rafa the player.
Did you enjoy his career, or were you a
Of
fan?
course, I don't know who doesn't enjoy Rafa as a player. I remember I watched him one time in center court in French Open when I was young. So before even um, going to the academy, and it's crazy to see the intensity he has and the way he hits the ball. So much to look up to.
Cool. What about here in Werash? What would it mean? I mean, you've not won a WTA title yet. What would that mean potentially if you were to have a good week here, for example, and maybe even lift the trophy?
It would mean a lot. I think right now what I need is a lot of hours on court, a lot of hours playing at a level that, I'm happy with, and a level that I know I'm capable of. So this is a tournament that will help me do that.
Cool. Last question. I'd like to know about some sort of future goals, maybe even just for 2025.
Okay.
Do you look at sort of things like, obviously you're going to be in the Slam draw, you're going to be in the main draw now at the French Open. Perhaps that was a goal. But what about now? Because the goals never end, right?
Of course. No, of course. My original goal for 2025 was to finish in top 100, or at least to touch it. And now that I have touched it, it's a lot of new territory for me. So I'm trying to take it match by match, and I feel that's also why this tournament is important, because I'm coming off from such a good week, and I'm starting the clay season. So I give myself the space to figure it out, and then we'll see what my next set of goals are. I'm sure my team already has their own set of goals, but personally, I want to see how the situation unfolds.
But is winning a title, just a title of whether it be 125, 250, is that one of the next goals?
Yes, of course. You always go into the tournament with the mindset that you can win it, and some tournaments maybe there's a lower chance of that happening, and some tournaments maybe there's a higher chance, but you'll always have a chance.
I do have one more actually. Did Miami surprise you? I mean, you said coming into a tournament, you feel as though you have a good chance maybe of having a good run, but did you expect the semi-finals there?
No, I did not. So yes, it did surprise me. I think Miami 1000 is WTA 1000 is one of the tournaments where I had the lower chance of holding the trophy, but I'm so proud that I was even able to come close, and the way I did it, I had such a tough draw.
I know.
So I had a tough draw.
I know.
I really had a tough draw.
I mean, you had
I didn't
Madison
even, I
Keys.
didn't even,
Sorry.
yeah, I didn't even realize, because you just look at the first, you're trying to get through one obstacle at a time, and after I passed each one, I'm like, it's just getting harder.
Yeah. Because it was Madison, Iga, and Jessica, wasn't it? And then
I had Elena, I had Katie.
Yeah, Elena as well.
I had Madison, and then Badosa, who unfortunately
yes.
withdrew, and then Iga, and then Jessica.
It was
and then
just
if
grand...
I had won, it would have been Arena. So it's so funny to look back on. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to try to pass the ball.
Go. Sorry. Thank you, Alex.
Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this video, your win that you had yesterday in the singles.
Well, it was a tough win, definitely. A lot of challenges with the weather, changing conditions. So I think it was a great way to start off the clay season.
Cool. Talking of clay, where are we at with your game and your preference? Clay, grass, hard? What's your sort of preferred condition?
Um, I prefer hard court. It's the one I grew up in, and I think my game naturally is more suited to that. But I've been, of course, I've been playing on clay for a long time as well. It's true that the clay season is shorter, much shorter than the hard season. But you know, I love clay, and I'm just trying to get it to love me back.
Good. You're going to be playing Udvari next. Do you know much about her? And tell us what you're thinking ahead of that match.
I've seen her around quite often. I've never played her before, but I think that's adds to the excitement of the match. But trying to go in with the same mindset as the match before, trying to stick with my shots and trust my tennis.
Doubles with Katie today. Of course, you lost, but you beat her in Miami. Did you talk about that match at all?
No, we haven't. She did congratulate me on that whole week, and she's a great sportsman. I think she's super nice, and we get along well. So I really enjoyed that doubles, even though we couldn't end up taking the win. But it's fun with her. Yeah.
Yeah. How has life changed since that Miami run for you, or has it not changed at all?
A lot has changed technically, but I don't really feel. At the same time, not much has changed. It's hard to explain. I've had the same work ethic since I was young, so nothing in terms of how I go about my day has really changed. Of course, there's a big difference between last month and this month in terms of my results, my ranking, but when you focus on the things that I need to focus on, there's nothing much.
Okay.
Much.
Do you feel any more pressure?
I think it's normal to feel some pressure after a big run like this. But tennis is a game that of pressure in whichever moment that you're in your life. I think that I've done the best I could with my mentality and talking with my team about how I can handle it, and hopefully that shows on court.
The win over Iga, is that the best moment of your career so far?
Of course. I think all of those, all the wins that week, and even the match against Jessica was each such important moments in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. What about this? World number one or Grand Slam, if you could choose one?
Grand Slam.
Okay.
Hands down.
Which one?
Wimbledon.
Okay.
But both. I mean, if I could, I would choose both. Yeah.
Well, of course. Yeah. Okay. Have you heard about these comparisons with Leila Fernandez? I mean, obviously, in terms of your game, you're both lefties. You both sometimes take the ball early. Are you familiar with these comparisons, and how do you feel about that?
No, I'm not really familiar with those comparisons, but I think Leila's a great player. Obviously, she did the final in US Open a couple of years back, so she's a trailblazer in her own way. I think I'm not so close with her. We've had a couple of interactions, but she seems like a nice girl, so not mad about that comparison at all. She's a good player. Yeah.
Have you got a favorite shot? If I'm going to give you a shot and match point to Wimbledon, what is it?
That's a good question. Asked which one I prefer the other day, forehand and backhand. I was also kind of on the edge. I would say maybe a backhand cross court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cross court winner.
But yeah, I don't know. It really depends. There's so many things that can happen during the match. Depends on the opponent, the court. But yeah, I think that one has been there from the beginning. Like now, I definitely have a lot of weapons aside from that I've been working on. But I feel like that backhand just came natural from the beginning. Yeah.
And have you ever dreamt and ball to the grass, for example, at Wimbledon? Have you ever dreamt about that?
I think everybody's dreamt of that. Yeah, I have. Yes.
All right, I'm going to show you some pictures now, and I want you to tell me the that kind of comes into your mind or just some of your thoughts? So,
Oh, yeah, this was, I believe, in Florida,
okay.
if I'm not mistaken. I won like the Grand Slam. It was, you had to get that trophy. The trophy, as you can see, is bigger than I am.
Yeah.
It was like the tallest trophy ever presented in junior tennis or something like that. That was a big thing, and we had to take it apart and ship it home in a box. Yeah, so I bet that was difficult for my parents. But there's my brother as well. He competed also, and he was like 2 points away from winning that same trophy.
Oh,
Yeah, but such a happy memory in my young childhood. Yeah.
do you ever think about some of these moments when you're on the court? Do you ever think about your childhood? Do you ever think about something like this?
No, on the court, no, I don't think about it. Definitely comes to mind when I start reminiscing on my whole journey, on what I've achieved in the past month. But on the court, it doesn't pop
Cool.
into my head. Yeah.
Okay, Amazon Prime documentary, that's what this, because this is when I first became aware of you. What are your thoughts now, a few years later, on that?
I don't know. I think a lot of people got to know me through this documentary. So obviously a big privilege to be part of that. A lot of people will come, oh, are you the girl from Amazon Prime? Yes, that's me. So now hopefully I'll be known for more things than that.
For sure.
But this is it's so nice to have these memories and these moments captured on camera.
Yeah, cool. US Open junior title. I was there when you won
You
that.
were there?
Yes, I was. Yeah,
Okay.
just as a fan, but yeah, I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was such a precious moment. I feel it was so full of emotion.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Samas and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. Eala is serving first, and he's actually up 30-15. And if you're thinking to yourself, John, I want to see that scoreboard. It's coming, all right? It's coming. John Bosch. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. If it's not on your screen yet, it will be in a moment. What is that I am seeing? An ace from Alex Eala. I think it's her first of the tournament. All right, we're getting better. We're getting better. $40-30. I think, honestly, I think it's her first of the tournament. She didn't hit any aces in her last match. I know that for sure. honestly, I think the first objective is to win a game. So, it's not worked out very well in terms of this last couple of points. This is not me predicting a double bagel, although we have seen a double bagel today already, haven't we? Was it Pegula against Masarova? So, yeah. And she's going to get to an advantage here, so she's going to get a game point. You know, this is not me being super pessimistic. I'm giving an Eala a 10% shot at winning. But if you said to me which is more likely, an Eala win or a beatdown, and I think beatdown for me is 3 games or fewer, I would probably go the beatdown is more likely. I think it was Pegula dishing out the double bagel, but I need to get this. Yeah, it was against Masarova. She's won back-to-back games now, and she's only lost 4 games against Masarova. Double fault there from Eala. So she's aced and double faulted in this game. And this commentator I do find quite amusing. I remember him being interviewed by David Law. I think it was during the pandemic, maybe the early stages of the pandemic. But anyway, around about 5 years ago. And it was good depth there from Eala. Oh, lovely forehand winner from Alex. Game point once again. She had 2 game points, don't forget, at 40-15. She's had another one. So this is her 4th game point. Oh, Penko knocked out Zheng, did she? Yeah, and it was around about the time the PTPA had recently set up, I think. And he's like, they're trying to set up a union. Like, it was like some sort of, I don't know, it was like something terrible. Oh, that was close to going out from Eala, but I guess she's got to go aggressive. I think she does have to go for the shots as well and hope that Rybakina breaks down, although Rybakina is fairly solid from the baseline. I actually think this has been a good start for Eala because she could easily just, get broken to 15 in the first game and then you're in trouble. The problem is, though, equally, having had 4 game points to then get broken is equally tough. Anyway, juice. She does need a few gifts from Rybakina, and she's had a couple in this game, and she's going to have another one there with that forehand going long. Some of us have already run 13 kilometers today. Some of us. I hasten to add, I don't think Ghosty's run 13 kilometers. Not today, anyway. Last time Ghosty was seen running, it was when he heard it was last orders. Oh! Backhand error there from Rybakina. And indeed, we've got one love. One love. I always feel like going into a little song whenever it's one love. Chrissy Everts, yeah. Why are you capitalizing the Y? Oh, because it's the beginning of a sentence. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Ghosty, there was a great beer advert, late 80s, early 90s in the UK. You know what? I just thought I saw Bogush, a friend of mine. Just going to text him. Bogush, I don't know if you're in Rome, but if you're not, then I've just seen your doppelganger in the crowd. Joshua Tree, still their best album. There you go, but you too. Yeah, what was I about to say? What was I saying? I was saying something. Anyway. Oh, yeah, beer advert. So there was a beer advert, late 80s, early 90s, I think. Oh, another gift from Rybakina, Love 15. And it was a guy and a girl in the girl's house. And every now and again, there'd be a reminder of the girl's partner. Like pictures and guitar and just stuff like that. So it was obviously made out that she was cheating on her partner. Anyway, after the cheating had happened, let's say, she offers him a beer from the fridge. And he says, I can't do that. He's my best mate. 15 all. Okay, no, it isn't. It's just a lookalike of Bogusz in the crowd. Nice forehand winner there from Rybakina, 30-15. Eddie Reyes, 85-18. Are you talking to me with that comment? Or you don't believe the story about I never touch a man's beer, indeed. Or are you talking about my story? Well, I'm just telling you how the advert went. Or the commercial. By the way, I'm off to Valencia tomorrow. There's a challenger in Valencia. So I'm off there. So you might see some interviews from Valencia. 30 all. I wonder what Eddie's so upset about. Eddie Reyes, 85-18. Maybe he's upset with one of these two players. Maybe he's a Sadova fan. Ace down the tee from Rybakina, 40-30. I've cut myself on my finger, which has been annoying. On a yogurt pot. Pretty uncool. Oh, she's just made that forehand. Wow, 1-all. A comfier hold for her. Bearing in mind, Alex needed a few juices before getting over the line. Of course, Rybakina won the title in Rome in 2023. Good forehand there from Eala. That's the backhand into the forehand of Rybakina. Good depth there from Elena. I feel a break incoming. I feel a break incoming here. Yeah. That kind of ball that Alex just had to deal with on the backhand side there is not one that she'll get very often from other players on the tour. And I think she's going to get it far too often today. If Rybakina has a terrible day, spraying errors, double faults maybe, then Eala has a chance. But look, there you go again. Same side, same situation, backhand, same result into the net. Musetti and Cerundolo are into a first set tiebreak. That's a blockbuster round of 32, by the way. Lerner Tien against Alexander Bublik. That should be exciting as well. Oh, good win for Ruud today in straight sets over Lahetska. Ruud should have made a Rome final by now, in my opinion. Forehand from Rybakina goes long, so 15-30. I mean, it's on the Iberian Peninsula, Ghosty. Yeah, Fran Cerundolo. Yeah, not Juan Manuel. Juan Manuel Cerundolo against Lorenzo Musetti would not be blockbuster, popcorn, etc. in any round. Oh, lovely forehand winner there from Eala, taken on the rise. 34. If she could get to 2-1 event, honestly, this would be almost a dream start. About Eala. Yes, the movement on clay I think is still suspect, but her ball striking in Rome this week, it's been very good. And that's her best chance of winning match, just striking that ball cleanly and well. Ooh, a little loose there from Rybakina, and she's got to 40-30 now, Eala. And so once again, getting game points on her serve. Zverev beat blocks 1 and 4. That's a good one. Oh, Botic is up a set on Khachanov. Prismic beat Humbert. Eala misses the first serve. Good return there from Rybakina, and now it's a drive volley, which she's going to put away. A pretty unconventional manner. Good win for Svitolina as well. 1 and 2 over Baptiste. Naomi Osaka rolling back the years with a 1 and 2 win over Diana Schneider. So she's into the round of 16. Juice here. Eala. Oh, well done, Alex, for making that forehand. You had to make it, and you did. Game point once again. Just going to have a quick look at the draw in Rome. Something makes me feel as though there's like Jacqueline Christian in this little section for these players. Oh, good forehand up the line there from Rybakina. She's on the attack. She should win the point from here, and she does. So 5 winners for each player so far. Oh, what about forehand up the line there from Eala? Wow, game point. Bogusz got back to me. It's not him. Double fault from Eala. 1-1 juice. Another double fault from Alex. That's 2 I think she's hit today so far. For those of you just tuning in, please do hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe and watch this little number just below my... below my head just tick over. Oh, backhand there from Rybakina goes long, and it's a game point. Oh, what a forehand up the line from Elena Rybakina. Right, I said I was going to have a look at the section of the draw that this was in. Yes, so it's Siegemund. So this is the section of the draw that players are involved in. And so Sigmund or Pliskova awaits the winner of Eala and Rybakina. By the way, second serve for Rybakina to look at here. Oh my goodness me, Rybakina's made a turn, has she? Eala's not convinced by it, although she does rub her foot over. I thought it had landed out, but whatever. It's a sensational to bring up her first break point of the match. Good return there from Elena. It's on the backhand side. Rybakina with Eala with some good depth, but then she dumps that forehand into the net, and we do indeed get a break of serve for Elena Rybakina. Okay, 2-1. Rybakina leads. So I think it's time to have a look around the grounds and see what is going down elsewhere at the Italian Open. Let's begin with the women's side. Obviously, we're covering this particular encounter between Eala and Rybakina right now, with Rybakina up an early break 2-1. Naomi Osaka saw off Diana Schneider in straight sets earlier, 6-1, 6-2. Potapova, likewise, also won in straight sets over Ludmila Samsonova, 6-3, 6-2. One of the more startling results today was Jessica Pegula winning love and love over Masarova. Hopefully the Swiss is okay. And for those of you wondering, Masarova, Swiss? I thought she was Spanish. It's an unusual one. Masarova, I think, began her career playing under the Swiss flag, switched to Spanish, where I think one of her parents is from. Could be wrong on that, but she definitely switched to Spanish, and I think she's Swiss-born. Anyway, and now she's gone back to Switzerland. There's probably an interesting story behind that, and I would love to speak to her about it, but maybe that's for another day. WTA doesn't like you interviewing players. Okay, and asking them questions. I mean, heaven forbid. What a world where you ask somebody a question. Madison Keys went down in 3 sets to Bartonkova today. Maybe one of the surprises of the day, but perhaps also a surprise is that Svitolina won as comfortably as that, 6-1, 6-2 over the informed Haley Baptiste. And we still have Sigmund against Pliskova and Cocciaretto against Fiontek to come. On the men's side, look at this. Musetti and Cerula into a first set tiebreak. Bocis van der Zandschulp is up a set on count. And there were wins for Zverev and Prismic in straight sets earlier, and Casper Ruud 2, with Tien against Bublik, Arnaldi against Hodar, and Tommy Paul against Luciano Darderi still to come. That is bringing you up to date with all things tennis. Let's get you back to Rybakina against Alex Eala. Rybakina has won the first point on her serve, 15 love. She switched nationality a couple of times. So I think she began her career in Swiss. Then I remember seeing her play for Spain at the Billie Jean King Cup in 2023. And it was only last week or 2 weeks ago at the Catalonia Open that I was like, so Rybakina goes along there with a backhand, 15 all. I was at there and I was like, oh, she's got the Swiss flag beside her name. So I just had a quick look at her background. She switched back to Switzerland maybe about 18 months ago, maybe less. So there'll be something behind that. It might be a simple numbers game in that Spain right now, she's got too much competition in front of her in terms of playing Billie Jean King Cup and that kind of thing. There could be some finances involved. Who knows? Maybe even feelings. How about that? Forehand return. It's got good depth on it. Oh, what side of the net? Oh, okay, it's landed back on Eala's. I wasn't even sure what side of the net that landed on. But it's come back down on Alex Eala's side, so it's 30-15. I am very hungry, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen. So one thing is, if this is a beatdown, then at least I can have my lunch much earlier. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. Ace from the back, and expect to see a few. There we go. I'm back. Oh, Eala, there was great depth. Oh my goodness me. That's what I'm telling you about, the ball striking. But I think my mic is back now, isn't it, Ghosty? For some reason it just dropped, but I think it's back. Yeah, I was just saying about some clay specialists, and I wouldn't put Eala or Rybakina in either, certainly Eala not, but even Rybakina too. Actually quite like the quicker conditions. So someone like Iga and Rafa spring to mind. Oh my goodness me, look at that ball striking from Alex Eala to gets to deuce. I mean, she's getting in these games. She had a game point, didn't she, on her serve when she got broken? She didn't face a break point in the first game. And she also won 2 points on the Elena Rybakina serve in the first service game of Elena's. And now she's pushed at a deuce. It doesn't feel like we're going to get a beat down at the moment. Look at that, though, the ace down the tee. And that's the other thing. So Eala is super well known for her return, but she's not going to make as many returns as normal today, even on the second serve. But she will get a lot of second serves to look at. But look at Eala's return position here. Look. Look where Alex is on the court. Look, well behind the baseline. And that's not normal for her. She's normally with, oh, look at that. I'm just going to see this rally pan out. She's just missed the backhand 3-2. She's got to go for those. Anyway, so what was saying in terms of her? Oh, yeah. So probably with around about 60, 70, 80% of the tour, she's inside the baseline on return. And for a lot of those players, she's probably a meter inside the baseline, just going for it. But against Rybakina, against Coco Gauff, Linda Noskova, and I'm thinking about the matches that she's lost quite brutally to Coco in the Middle East. She won the match against her more recently in Wales when Coco retired hurt. Mukova to some extent. I know that Mukova won that one comfortably, but it wasn't really so much about her serve that day. But she has good placement on her serve, does Mukova. Okay. Maybe the slice is something. I saw a slice there from Eala. Maybe that's something that she could deploy a bit more often. So was she 5-5 for the season at the moment, Alex? Something like that. She'll have a... Oh, look at that forehand winner from Alex, 30 love. She'll have a dilemma. If she loses today, she could, I think, still play Palmer.
I actually think these clay courts would suit her a little bit. You spoke about that things are a little bit slower in Rome. I think
just going to have a look at the entry list for Strasbourg. That's the week before the French Open.
And it just neutralizes big strikers.
So we've got Alexandrova, Baptiste, Balek, Buskova, Leila Fernandez, Jacqueline Christian, Elizabeth. It's a bit of a weaker field this year, it feels, in Strasbourg. Madison Keys is there. Emma Navarro, Maria Sakkari. Okay, maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Clara Towson, yeah, so maybe I'm being a bit harsh in terms of the strength of the field. But anyway, Eala's not on that list. There is a 250 the week before the French Open as well. Let's have a look at the entry list for that one. Don't think Eala is on either of these two, but I could be wrong. I thought there was a 250. There's Strasbourg, or maybe there isn't a. There is a 250, isn't there? In like Morocco or something. Let me have a look. Rybakina should win the point from here and does. 40-15. Yes, exactly. There's the week before you've got Rabat. 250. Let's have a look at the entry list. I think I looked at this a few days ago and Eala wasn't on the playlist. So this is the WTA website. So we're not talking about the most reliable of websites in the world. 30 all here on the Eala serve. Janice Chen is on that list. Pano Udvardi as well. Okay, 30 all here. Backhand's down the center of the court. Now it's on the forehand of Eala into the backhand of Rybakina. And Rybakina's going to miss the forehand, so we are going to get to 40-30. Hola, Nancy. ¿Cómo está? How are you? From Santiago in Chile. I lived in Santiago for 7-8 months back in 2017. Went to university there, did a semester. Misses the first serve here, Alex, at 40-30. Okay, forehand return is good from Rybakina. She's on top at this point, but she's going to miss the drive volley. So that's a gift for Eala to hold serve. 3-2. Listen, never accept defeat, and Alex will never do that. But if you're a fan of Alex's, you've got to be happy with this start in some respects. Half an hour for 5 games. They've all been competitive every game. There's not been a game to love or a game to 15. Eala's held serve twice. And the time that she was broken, she won some points. Hola, mucho gusto. Yes, indeed, Nancy. But from memory, Nancy, I think your English is a strong language for you than Spanish, if I understand, if I remember correctly. Right, let's have a quick look around the grounds again at some of the latest scores. Musetti won the first set over Cerundolo by 9 points to 7 in the first set tiebreak. Hatchinoff is beginning what he hopes is a comeback against Botic van der Zandschulp. He lost the first set, but he's leading 4-3 with a break in the second. What about on the women's side? Obviously, we've got Alex Eala in action right now. Is that the only live match? I think it is. Yes, this is the only match on the women's side that is currently live. Later on today, we'll have Sigmund against Pliskova. Winner of Sigmund Pliskova will play the winner of Eala and Rybakina. And we've also got Cocciaretto against Iga Swiatek. That's a tricky one for Iga. I expect her to prevail, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's pushed. Okay. 3-2. Rybakina to serve. Good serve down the tee. And it should be the point for Rybakina. Yes, it is. 3-2, 15 love. $15 after Rybakina errs. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. Okay, backhand cross court here from Rybakina into the forehand strike zone of Eala. Forehands now to the backhand slice. It's an unconventional slice that Eala has, but sometimes it's effective. And that wasn't effective on the forehand side, so 30-15. Look how close we are to 30,000 subscribers, people. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? Come on. Come on. Hit subscribe. Rybakina misses the first serve. So a second serve here for Alex to look at 30-15. Backhand return from Alex. Got good depth on it. Drop shot here from Eala. Rybakina's going to get there with a re-drop. Lovely from Elena. 40-15. I don't dislike mixing it up a little bit. Yeah, maybe not the perfectly executed drop shot, but hey. John here asking for a fight. She is fighting. She's making this competitive, which there was certainly a scenario where it wasn't competitive. 33 minutes on the clock. Ace down the tee. Rybakina holds for 4-2. Okay, 34 minutes. I mean, that's 6 games in 34 minutes. That's a lengthy match, which tells you that was the most comfortable hold we've had so far. That game to 15. Backhand hit down the centre of the court. Both players hitting the ball down the centre of the court. Eala changes directions a little bit. Good depth there from Rybakina, but it's matched by Eala. Eala here just, on the attack, I would say. It's a lovely forehand winner down the line from Alex. Honestly, this is about as well as Alex can play on this surface in these conditions for me. It probably won't be good enough to beat Rybakina, but it will push her. This level, if both players stay at this level, it's going to be like 4-4. Good body serve there from Alex, but actually she then doesn't execute because Rybakina deals with that body serve really well. 15-all. Time for me to have a sip of water. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay, Eala misses the first serve. Second serve here. Oh, good backhand return. Rybakina on the attack. Should Eala get there? Yes, she does. Oh, that's nice from Alex, despite the stumble, which has made her laugh a little bit. And there's Diane Castillejo there in the crowd. She's a Philippine journalist. $30-15. Oh, good serve there from Alex. Wow. I tell you what, Alex is serving really well. I mean, that body serve that Rybakina sent back somehow was a good first serve. That was an excellent spot serve down the tee. That explains why she's only been broken once. She's only had to face one break point in the match so far, which normally she's got to fight a few off against most players. Never mind one of the best players, if not the best player in the world. Look at that backhand from Eala, by the way. Oh, and that's just gone out. Eala's got 3 games. Honestly, she just couldn't play any better than this. And it might be enough to do something today. I don't know what something means. Getting to a tiebreak. But the problem is, though, for Alex, so here comes the problem. She is playing at her absolute maximum on the absolute limit. How long can she maintain that for? I don't know. Can you do that? Could she do this for another hour or so? Maybe. If she does do this for another hour or so, she might get to a tiebreak in one of the 2 sets, but I do still expect her to lose in straights. She needs Rybakina to just dip a little bit more. I think Rybakina's playing okay, but I do think there's another gear for Elena. I don't think there's another gear for Alex. I think she's absolutely playing beautifully right now. And it's why she's only had to face one break point from her 4 service games. I think it's 4, isn't it? Yeah, because she served first. Do let me know in the live chat where you're tuning in from. We've got Nancy here in Santiago. We've got Ghosty is in California. Don't worry, Ghosty. Have fun. Make sure you tell everyone on your travels to subscribe to Talking United. Thanks, Ghosty. Who else have I seen in the chat? I've got Eddie there. I think Eddie's in the Philippines somewhere. Yeah, Jess, that's fair. I mean, who knows? We might get a tie break. I didn't. But it does look like it was a cracker. Of course, I'm aware of the controversy in terms of some of the crowd and cheering out. I think on one of the match points that Medjedovic had. I'll come back to that in a moment as Rybakina serve is just too difficult for Eala to deal with. 15-love. I think in a way, it enhances the argument regarding crowd of just letting the crowd to just cheer throughout. You know, UTS style, which I think UTS is a bit fake on that one. I think they might even employ people to do it, which is a bit weird. But, oh, nice play from Eala, 15-all. Because if you have it constant, the odd shout doesn't make a difference, right? But given where we're at, I think some people don't know that they can't call out, but I think probably most do. And so, yeah, that was out of order. But anyway, Medjedovic won. Yeah, Rico, I was expecting... It's 30-15, by the way. I was expecting 5 games for Eala in the match, which she still might not reach. But she's at least on target to get 6 at least in this match. And she's making an impression as well on... Rybakina has not had not held to love in any of her games. She's been pushed to deuce, I think, in at least one of the games. And she's here again at 30-all. So that's the impression that Eala's making on the Rybakina serve. And regarding her own serve, she's serving beautifully, Alex. As well as she possibly can. But Eala hasn't yet had a break point on the Rybakina serve. But are we going to get one here? Let's see. Clutch serving from Rybakina. But that's going to land in, so we're still into the rally. Rybakina comes into the net. That should be too easy for her. It is. Maybe Alex will be a little disappointed that she didn't make Elena work a bit more for that volley. 40-30, game point for Elena Rybakina to get to 5-3 and within touching distance of winning the first set. A reminder, this is the section of the draw that these two players find themselves in. Good serve down the tee there. Eala gets it back in play somehow. She's still in the rally somehow, but not now because that's going to go long. 5-3. I mean, Eala, at the moment, has put up a... No, it's not fair. I was going to say put up a bigger fight than Sakkari, but Sakkari broke the Rybakina serve a couple of times, albeit she only got 5 games across the 2 sets, but... Maybe the scoreline didn't do Sakkari justice. Oh, Eala's missed that backhand. It feels like another break here. It feels like it. And it feels like a 6-3 set. Just missing that first serve, Alex. 42 minutes for 8 games. Shows you that every game's been pretty competitive. We've not had a game to love yet. Oh, look at that forehand winner from Alex. She's on the limit today, but that's what she's got to do. Look at these commentators. Just that's like they're listening to Talking Tennis, right? And they're just saying what I said about 60 seconds ago. I'm teasing, of course. But don't know, actually, Matthew. Honestly, I don't know. Double bagel. Don't happen very often. I don't know if Masadova was okay or... I mean, yes, Masadova's not like top 10 or anything, but... Ooh, there we go. The Rybakina volley, which I don't think is the best on tour. Oh, what's his name? Jerome. I don't know if you remember Jerome. Used to do some Talking Tennis stuff 2-3 years ago. He works for the ATP now. He thought Rybakina was a decent net player. I'm not so convinced. Not compared to the rest of her game. Okay, misses the first serve of Eala, but she does have a couple of game points. She's already hit a couple of double faults today. And there's another one, 40-30. A bit windy today, apparently. Although I'm not seeing the movement of the ball as much as, I think it was yesterday, lunchtime. The ball was flying around because of the wind. Oh, what a turn from Rybakina. Deuce. Yeah, that's good that he backed it up. How often do we see players get an incredible win and then not back it up? Hello, Jake. Good to see you on board. Okay, just going to see this point, and then I'll come back to the chat in a moment. Forehand from Eala goes long, so we've got a set point now for Elena Rybakina. Okay, set point here at Rybakina, albeit is on the Eala serve. Good serve from Eala. She served beautifully today. Honestly, this is possibly the best I've ever seen Eala serve. And you're going, yeah, but John, she's 5-3 down and just had to save a break, set point. I know, but that's where we're at with Eala on the serve. For her to only face 2 break points in a set against the world number 2 is wild. Considering I think Rybakina's return is a pretty strong one. Drive volley here. Eala stays in the point. Another drive volley, but Eala's going to stay in the point a bit longer. There we go, Alex. Boy, oh boy. Honestly, Eala is at 9 out of 10, and Rybakina is at 6 out of 10. And that's why it's super competitive. If either just alter slightly. So if Eala just drops to a 7 or an 8, or Rybakina picks it up to 7 or 8 herself, then suddenly it's, 3-1. But it's not going to be 3-1 because Eala's got to 4. She holds 5-4, and Rybakina's going to have to serve this out. Doesn't look best pleased. I had a question about the draw on the men's side, so I'm going to share it with you now. Sinner against Popperin is round of 32. The winner of that will play Tiafoe against Pellegrino. Rublev is playing Rybakina, and the winner of that will play Nakashima or Basilashvili. Basilashvili thinks it's 2021 again. Navoni is going to play Medjedovic, and the winner of that will play Bellucci or Landalusa. Landalusa, the lucky loser. By the way, we've got all the L's there, haven't we? We've got LLLL. Lucky loser, Landalusa. Llamas Ruiz, after his heroics yesterday against Corentin Moutet in a match that was just beautiful to watch. If you watch that match, Llamas Ruiz against Corentin Moutet, and you're not entertained, totally fine, but you don't like tennis. Kaboli against Tirante are going to play the winner of Llamas Ruiz and Medvedev. Medvedev, I think I saw time on court so far. Medvedev 0 and Llamas Ruiz like 9 hours or something, I think, including his qualies, of course. Musetti and Cerundolo. What an honestly. I mean, that is an ATP 500 final. That is a 1,000 semi-final or even a final, especially in the absence of Alcaraz and Sinner. So, yeah, I'm thinking of Madrid, say, a year ago, for example. Musetti against Cerundolo, but it's around a 32 clash, and it is tight. Ruud or Casper Ruud awaits the winner of that, so it's not going to get any easier for Musetti or Cerundolo in the next round. Prismic is going to play the winner of Khachanov and Botic. Very winnable, I would argue. And Khachanov and Botic are going to go to a third set, as you can see that from that score update. Arnaldo Hodar is going to play the winner of Tien and Bublik, and Tommy Paul or Luciano Darderi. I'm going to go Darderi in that one to play Zverev in the next round. All right, let's get back to Eala against Rybakina, because Rybakina is serving for the first set. Okay, cross court here. Forehand now from Rybakina up the line. Look at her fighting, but that doesn't land in from Eala. So 15 love. I think as long as Eala's healthy, I think she should play that 1-2-5 next week in Parma. Let me have a look to see if the... I think play the 1-2-5 in Parma, then go back to the Rafa Nadal Academy, get ready for the French Open, arrive in Paris on, I don't know, Thursday, have a bit of practice on those courts while other players are playing in Rabat and Strasbourg. Play that 1-2-5. Try and get a win there. That's what I would do, but what do I know, hey? I don't think Eala's on the... I want to see the singles list. I'm looking at a doubles list for Parma, but I want to see singles. Wow, what a return. 30-15. Misses the first serve back, huh? She's not known for her high first serve percentage. Forehand return from Eala is pretty good. That backhand's not bad either, but that forehand is sensational from Elena Rybakina. 40-15. I think Mboko is on the entry list for Parma. I think. Although she did pull out of Rome through illness, I think. Oh, look at that movement of the ball. But she's going to miss the forehand, Rybakina. So 40-30. Again, you know, she's not had a mega cup. She's had one game, I think, to 15. And every other game that she served in has gone to 30 or deuce. But equally, she hasn't had to save a break point in this set. Good serve there. And that's not going to land in. So she does win the first set by 6-4. And we'll take a quick break and we'll be back with you for the second set.
Ready. Play.
where are we at with your game and your preference? Clay, grass, hard? What's your sort of preferred condition?
I prefer hard court. It's the one I grew up in. And I think my game naturally is more suited to that, but I've been, of course, I've been playing on clay for a long time as well. It's true that the clay season is shorter, much shorter than the hard season, but you know, I love clay and I'm just, you know, trying to get it to love me back.
What is it about clay, do you think, for you and your game that makes it maybe a little bit more tricky than hard court, for example?
Well, I grew up on hard court, so it comes more natural to me, and maybe my game is a bit more suited to there, how to move, but not to say that it should change on clay. I don't think it's in the end it's a court, you know. So of course maybe the bounce is higher, it's affected by the weather, but you can't make it such a big deal. It's nothing to change my whole game over. So I believe that I can do just as well on clay as I can on hard, yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. (6-4). That first set, I still can't find the entry list for Palmer, but I do want to just share with you some of the stats from that first set. So I'm going to get them up on the screen. We have Eala and Rybakina not quite back on court just yet. Where are we? Stats, please. Here we go. So, I'd love to know first serve percentage in, actually, because I think it feels like Eala is pushing the 70% mark, but I could be wrong on that. She will start the second set by serving first. But yeah, first serve's 1. Rybakina 68%, 58% for Eala. Winners to unforced errors, honestly, 13 each in terms of winners and unforced errors from Eala is totally fine, bearing in mind how aggressive she's playing. And yeah, Eala only faced 2 break points on her serve in the entire set. Can Eala keep it up? If she can, she might get to a tie break. But anyway, listen, if Eala maintains this level and Rybakina just drops slightly, then yeah, we might get to a tie break and then who knows. But that is maybe the most optimistic scenario. A more likely scenario is that Eala's absolute limit. If you imagine like a Formula 1 driver in qualifying, that is what Eala is doing lap after lap after lap at the moment. A la Michael Schumacher, if you remember the German Formula 1 legend, who used to often do that as and when he could, getting every last little bit out of the Ferrari that he drove. Yeah, if she can keep that, but yeah, look at that second serve. Anyway, we're into the rally here at 15-all. Forehand up the line is good from Rybakina. Eala somehow defends it, but that she won't be able to defend. 15-30. Okay, let's get the score for you back up on the screen to begin this second set. How you doing, Jake, by the way? Oh, we just gained a subscriber. Thank you very much for that. Okay, Eala serves. Backhand return is really good from Rybakina. The backhand now from Eala into the forehand of Rybakina, which is also really good. Rybakina. Forehand winner from her up the line. It was a decent angle that Eala found, considering she was on the defense. But ultimately, she was just too far out of court then to stay in the point once Rybakina made that forehand. So 2 break points. That's as many break points as Eala had to save in the entire first set. And now she's going to have to begin the second set by having to save back-to-back break points. Needs a couple of first serves here. But what about that for a return from Rybakina? Nevertheless, Eala is still in the point. But that's too short from Eala. That's too short, but that's going to land in. So Rybakina's going to have to go for it again. Eala stays in the point, but there's an open court for Rybakina to hit, and she takes advantage of that. Breaks already. So Rybakina leads 6-4, 1-love with a break. What time do you start work, Jake? I'm looking forward to West Ham Arsenal. That was a good win for Man City yesterday. That was that's closed the gap that had opened up in terms of the goal difference. Problem West Ham have is, and this is what the disaster of that loss to Brentford last week for them, is this weekend, these 2 matches, Spurs at home to Leeds and West Ham at home to Arsenal, I'd be very surprised if the gap between Spurs and West Ham is either not the same or hasn't grown this weekend. So in other words, West Ham getting a better result at home to Arsenal compared to Spurs at home to Leeds. I actually think Spurs will beat Leeds. So there we go. Okay, love 15 here on the Rybakina serve. Oh, I didn't even know Barcelona were playing Madrid today. Is the league pretty much done in Spain in terms of the gap between Barcelona and Madrid, or does a Madrid win? See how little I know about La Liga. Does the Madrid win maybe keep it sort of alive? No, it's 11 points with 4 to play. I mean, it would. So actually, Barcelona could win the league today, right? No, 11 points clear with 4 to play. Oh, nice play here from Eala. Love 30. Maybe this is basically as good as it's got for Eala on the Rybakina serve. But Barcelona, so I think a Barcelona draw and they've won the league. If I understand the maths correctly. Oh, wow, that first serve from was way out. Jake, that's funny. Look at that return from Alex Eala. Wow. An hour on the clock. My dinner's being delayed. People saying, John, why are you having dinner at 5 o'clock? It's a bit early, isn't it? I know. But I'm telling you, I didn't really have lunch today because I spontaneously saw a 10K run that was taking place and I just did it. Like an organized thing. Love 40 here. Can Eala break the Rybakina serve for the first time in the match? Forehand here from Rybakina. It's going to go into the net, and we do indeed have the first break of serve for Alex Eala. Do not adjust your sets. Yes, Eala has won all in the second set and only lost the first set by 6-4. So Eala, in my opinion, 5 games would have been the mean average for Alex today. Given where these 2 players are at, given Rybakina's pedigree in Rome, given Eala's ability on the clay, but she's hitting the ball as well as I've ever seen her. And she can often hit the ball really well. Look at this backhand from her. Oh, but she's going to be in trouble, is she, in this point? No, that's going to land just out. Lucky you, Alex, because you came into the net there, and I don't think you quite anticipate the next shot from Rybakina. But it doesn't matter because it went long, 15 love. Honestly, yeah. And it's all about the way she's played. You know, it's not been Rybakina playing terribly. Yes, I do think Rybakina's got a gear to go up. But and maybe Eala doesn't. But what can you do, hey? I mean, she still could lose the next 5 games, by the way, but not with a return like that from Rybakina, 30 love. Depends. I haven't seen it, but I'm guessing that he just thought we were crap and that Carrick has been a bit lucky, has he? Is that the rant? I haven't seen it. But if that is the case, then yeah, I think he's got a point. If you were to give a score out of 10 for Michael Carrick on results, you'd go 9. Performances, you'd go 5. I think that might be a bit generous. Okay, forehand now into the backhand of Rybakina. And the backhand from Eala goes long. So 30-15. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally, yeah. I mean, you can't, if anyone is arguing with that, then they don't watch football. Yeah. But, I mean, it is a results business. So, yeah. I mean, the best, I don't know if he's a Canada, but Luis Enrique, I would go for, I think you asked me yesterday, and I have said on record, I would go for Iraola over Carrick. But I've also said on record that if we get any of those 3, of course, if we get Carrick, I mean, that's not like we've got to go out there and get him. But if Carrick is our coach next season, yeah, I can't complain. I will, of course. if we're 10th at Christmas, and that is possible. Alex Eala holds for 2-1. I tell you who's a 50-50 for me would be Ancelotti. Okay, in terms of would you take him? Because the pros and the cons are this. He's kind of like a Michael Carrick, but better in that he's more of an overlord than a coach in terms of training ground and tactics and all the rest of it. And I do see Carrick in a similar mold to that. I don't think he's necessarily setting the team up, etc. I see him as sort of maybe a bit of a man management, and a lot of the players talk about his man management, which is great. And in many respects, that's what Ferguson was for probably the second half of his career, where he would rely on people like Steve McLaren, Carlos Queiroz, maybe to a lesser extent, Rennie Meulenstein, to help set the team up, certainly when it came to Meulenstein in terms of the coaching drills. Mike Phelan, to some extent, I don't think he was necessarily a tactical genius. I don't think he was quite as influential, for example, as Carlos Queiroz. But anyway, back to Ancelotti. Yeah, the negatives with Ancelotti are his age and the fact that he's going to be at the World Cup. And by the way, no guarantees you can prize him out of his Brazil situation. I don't believe he's extended his contract yet, but Emery, I think, is also someone who has been kind of forgotten. And I think I'd be okay with it. I'd be more than okay with Emery as well. Yeah. I guess the big question is, assuming Luis Enrique, they must have explored it and they probably know the answer now already regarding Luis Enrique's availability. Okay? Then, Ancelotti. Yeah, I'm 50-50 on Ancelotti. And the World Cup thing is a big thing. And you'd imagine they'll go deep at the World Cup, quarters, semis, or final. And that is a huge factor in terms of the upcoming season, the preparations, the players that he wants, and the coaching, and the fact that our pre-season starts before the World Cup even finishes. Assuming that what we understand is that Ancelotti, for one reason or another, isn't going to happen, and I'm okay with that not happening. Luis Enrique just can't be prized out of Paris. We know 100% that Carrick and Iraola are available. And I'm assuming that Iraola is not going to be going to someone, for example, Manchester City, who might be able to beat us to him, for example, unless that's already a deal that's been done. But let's assume that he's not. And so therefore he's very much available. Carrick, of course, is very much available. And Emery, could he be prized? I think he probably could be. So if you then threw him in, I'd be okay with any of those 3. And I'd probably go in this order. This is just off the top of my head. Emery, Iraola, Carrick as my preferred choices. Yeah. All right. That's me and Talking United. Please check Talking United out. That is our YouTube channel, our sister YouTube channel. And we do very much need people to subscribe to Talking United. We currently have 78 subscribers, so we are getting closer to the 100 mark. If you know anybody who is a Manchester United fan, Jake or anyone else, do get them to give Talking United a subscribe. And I'm just going to share the link in the live chat. And we'll get back to this match, which is very, very competitive. I'm not quite say it's a knife edge, not just yet, but that's going to land in. That's class from Rybakina to get to 40-15. Listen, the United bigwigs are not convinced by Carrick either. If they were, then they would just give him the job now, right? Now we've got Champions League qualification secured. I understand the philosophy of not giving it to him full time before that's done, but from the minute the Liverpool match was concluded, they could have done the contract on the Monday. Anyway, listen, 40-15, Rybakina, 2 game points to get to 2-2. Decent return that from Eala, is it? No, it's going to miss, I think. Oh, no, that landed in. Well done, Alex Eala. Wow. 40-30. Okay. Still a game point, but it's going to be a second serve. An hour and 8 minutes on the clock. It tells you what a dogfight this has been, which is just incredible from Alex Eala's perspective. She's playing the second best player in the world, possibly the favorite for this title now that Sabalenka's out. I'm not sure. Where's the WTA race at? I mean, I last I saw that Sabalenka was in front, but given her defeats in Madrid and now here, Madrid quarterfinals, and then here in Rome a little earlier than anticipated. Yeah, so Rybakina's leading the race. So the best player in the world this year, Alex Eala, is hanging tough with her right now. Oh, it's a double fault from Eala. Love 15. Honestly, if Rybakina ends up winning this 6-4, 6-2, I still think this is a step forward. Because there were all sorts of score lines that were not pleasant reading for Eala today. And 6-4, 6-2 is not one of them. It's one more game than Sakkari's got. And Sakkari's a French Open semi-finalist, albeit that was a few years ago, I know. But Sakkari on the clay is decent. We are looking, though, now at love 30 after Rybakina rightly puts that volley away. And the only issue Eala has in terms of Wimbledon or the grass court season is the fact that she had a really good grass court season last year. So she had a pretty poor clay court season, 2 and 4. Her grass court season was the opposite, you know, getting to the finals of a 250, getting wins at the 125 level, playing really well against Rybakina, but unlucky that that's a first-round opponent. Rybakina, I mean Krejcikova, sorry, at Wimbledon. You know me. I'm watching Rybakina. I'm seeing her go long with a backhand there for 15-30, but I'm thinking Krejcikova, but I say Rybakina. It happens, people. There's Diane Castillejo with her getting her phone out. I bet she doesn't get a WTA strike, as in like a copyright strike, either on Instagram or whatever. Okay, here we go. Backhand cross court from Eala. Backhand up the line now into the strike zone, but Eala comes into the net, but she's not quite got herself right there for that backhand volley. She was kind of... there's certain parts of Eala's game, and that's one of them. It just doesn't look right. That backhand volley is one of them. The slice sometimes, and also the drop shot on clay for some reason don't quite look right in terms of she doesn't release one of her hands off the racket in time. And I think she might be just tiring a little bit there. which makes sense. Oh, that she's going to get a gift there on that return, though, from Rybakina, 30-40. If Eala could somehow hold and get to 3-2, she could just get the cigars out and go, you know what? I've done everything today. I've done everything. I've thrown the kitchen sink, and it's got me to this position. You know, down a set, but up 3-2 on serve in the second set. Yeah, just get the cigar. Hold here somehow and get the cigars out. Hey, there we go. A gift return there from Rybakina once again by going long. Deuce. Eala definitely needs these gifts because I think she's struggling physically right now as well. I would imagine she's run a few more meters than Rybakina has in this match. Rybakina just looks effortless, doesn't she? No matter what the situation. Okay, we're into the rally here, but Rybakina's up on top of it. And again, Eala struggling. And there, the forehand goes long. Game, a break point again for Rybakina. A third of this game. Eala and Mannarino. What a double that would be. Imagine Eala and Mannarino doing the Wimbledon dance at the end of the tournament. That ballroom dance thing that they have after the tournament's concluded. I remember Becca and Steffi doing that a few times. Djokovic and Sharapova, maybe. Okay, second serve here for Rybakina. Forehand return is going to be too good. And it is Rybakina once again who leads by a break of serve in this second set. Eala looks spent. Understandably so. Still, you can get the cigars out if you want. That would be just unbelievable. Imagine that Alex just pulls out a pack of cigars from the... You can imagine Bernie Tomic doing it, right? Yeah. Gerolaitis as well. Maybe Johnny Mack. Maybe. Okay. Rybakina there with a the signage on her bag with a kangaroo for Australia, and I think it was Big Ben indicating London / Wimbledon in terms of the Grand Slams that she's won. Of course, we've seen Nadal and Djokovic have similar signages on their tennis bags. 6-4, 3-2, and it is 3-2 with a break of serve for Rybakina, so she is 3 games away, 3 holds of serve away from a spot in the round of 16 in Rome as she extends her advantage in the race. This, I think, is pre-Madrid, the race. I mean, I think if you win a slam, you certainly, it used to be the case, you're automatically there. But in terms of the points required to make the year-end finals, 4,000, you should be fine. Let me have a look at the WTA race 2025. I would like to see 2025. I'm just thinking, how many points is the minimum? So Rybakina was like the last one, wasn't she? Last year. And I'm wondering how many was it 3,000 or 4,000 points that she got? Don't know. Oh, I'm just looking at now, actually. So Paolini, Keys, and Rybakina all got around about 4,300 points. Let's say 4,000, and you're in with an excellent chance. By the way, look at that. Karolina Mukova and Svitolina. I never would have had them that high up in the race. And even Mira Andreeva. I guess Mira's run to the final in Madrid, plus the title in Linz has really propelled her up that race. All right, let's get back to the scoreline here, which is love 15 on the Rybakina serve. We're into the rally here at love 15, but Eala goes into the net on her backhand there, so 15 all. Oh, we're going to have Arsenal against West Ham up any moment. Starting in 5 minutes. Good backhand there from Rybakina. Somehow Eala gets it back in play, but Rybakina should win the point from here. Not won it outright yet. She's going to have a smash. And that is going to be a winner, ultimately, from Rybakina. So 30-15. Eala did really well to hang in there on that point. In terms of goal difference with Arsenal and Man City, they are dead level. And the reason I'm saying dead level is I know it's 1 goal advantage for Arsenal. But if goal difference is going to come into play, then it's an ace there for Rybakina to get to 40-15. If goal difference is going to be a factor, and it's only important to discuss goal difference when it could be a factor, then Arsenal draw, Man City win, and they're on exactly the same goal difference. That's assuming Man City win by 1 goal. Ace down the tee, is that? No, clip the net. So not the first serve here. So 2 game points here for Rybakina. Misses the first serve. Second serve here. That's our sister channel there, Talking United, just being shared on the screen. Second serve for Eala to look at. Backhand return from Alex is not bad. She's on the forehand now. Decent depth on that. Rybakina on the defense. Eala should win from the point from here. Doesn't win it outright. Is that going to land in? No. 40-30. (6-4), 3-2, Rybakina with a break. And it's 40-30. For those of you just tuning in, hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe and look at this number below me tick over. What a serve that is down the tee from Rybakina. And that's what she has in her locker. Holds to 30. And now she is 2 games away from a spot in the round of 16. Where the winner will play Pliskova, who's, of course, on the last year on the tour. Pliskova or Siegemund. Siegemund still going strong, deep into her 30s. Pliskova still going strong at the age of 34. And yet this is her last year on the tour. Pliskova and Chastaya playing some great tennis this year. Chastaya, of course, beating Arina Sabalenka yesterday in 3 sets. Sunflower here, rooting for Rybakina. Misses the first serve, Eala. Sunflower, are you a Rybakina fan? Didn't know that. Make sure you hit that like button, by the way. Double fault there for Eala. Love 15. Also, of course, if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe. But I think you are a subscriber. Do let me know in the live chat, where are you watching this match from? If you're in, I'm in Germany. Maybe you're in the US. Maybe you're in the Philippines. Okay, backhand here to the forehand of Eala. Decent depth there from Alex. Now on cross-court backhand into the forehand. Eala goes up the line, but is she going to go long there? No, she's not. Drive volley from Alex, but it's not going to win the point outright. She's got a tricky smash here, but she puts it away. 15 all. Do make sure you check out our sister channel, Talking United. Do hit on that link and hit subscribe, please. You'll be doing us a huge favor. Very much a small channel at the moment in its infancy. Just started a few weeks ago. 78 subscribers. Every single one counts. So please do hit subscribe on that one for us. 15 all here. Into the rally. Oh, what a backhand that is from Rybakina. Somehow Eala gets it back in play. Eala, nice slice there. And there's that volley I told you about that Rybakina, in my opinion, is a weakness of hers. She had come into the net there, but Eala did really well with that backhand slice cross court. And it's 30-15. For me, Alex is playing with house money now. Because for me, 5 games was probably about the average for her. Abraham not happy with Alex's performance today. I think she's done as well as she possibly could against the best player in the world this year. Eala goes long there on the forehand, lamenting that bounce. 30 all. Abraham, can you do me a favor and hit that like button? And if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe on Talking Tennis and watch this number tick over and know that you have made a difference. Ooh, forehand there from Rybakina, and it goes into the net. 40-30. West Ham Arsenal should be kicking off any second. Should be kicked off by already, but according to Google, it hasn't kicked off yet. Premier League match of very significant importance at both ends of the table. Okay, game point here for Alex Eala. Backhand down the centre of the court. Now moving Rybakina out wide. Good shot there from Eala, and it's going to win the point. Wow. She's still hanging tough. 4-3. Change of ends. The Filipinos in the crowd are delighted with winning that point. 83 minutes this encounter has been so far, and we're only possibly at the midpoint of the second set, although we are probably getting closer towards the end than the midpoint. 4-3, Rybakina still two games away. Just 2 holes of serve away, nevertheless, for a spot in the round of 16. For those of you just tuning in, do hit the like button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. Let's have a quick look at some of the other score lines at the Italian Open right now. This is the only women's match that's currently taking place. On the men's side, we do have... Oh, wow. Lorenzo Musetti has got the job done over Fran Cerundolo. 7-6, 6-4. So he's going to be playing... Musetti's reward for that win is to play Casper Ruud in the next round. Ruud beat Lahetska earlier on, 6-3, 6-4. So another classic clay court encounter between Musetti and Ruud on the horizon. There were wins in straight sets earlier on today for Zverev and Prismic. And we have Khachanov serving for the match against Botic van der Zandschulp as we speak. But Botic has a break point on the Khachanov serve as Khachanov tries to close it out 6-2. So it is a double break advantage that Khachanov has over Botic in the third set. But Botic has a break point. Let's see if Botic gets this break or we actually get to deuce. Khachanov still 3 points away from the victory, technically. And this match between Eala and Rybakina is on the Foro Italico, one of the most beautiful tennis courts on the planet, which had been temporarily ruined last year by some construction work or some ideas of adding stands. But fortunately, they've taken them away and we've gone back to the aesthetically more pleasing scenario. Botic does get a break against Khachanov, so Khachanov is at least going to have to wait for that match to be done. As for Eala and Rybakina, we're back on court. Eala with some really good depth there, but the rally's going to go a bit longer yet. Now Eala on the forehand. It's going to be a forehand winner from her. Love 15. I think there's an argument. There's an argument to say this is the best I've ever seen Alex Eala play. No doubt on a clay court, but maybe full stop. I have watched 50 or 60 Eala matches over the last 15 months. I don't think that's an exaggeration. Now, do I remember every single match? Do I remember every single point? I think her performance against Paolini this year was up there. But I've never seen her compete this well on a clay court. That is for sure. 6-4, 4-3, 15 all. Misses the first serve, Rybakina. Forehand here for Elena Rybakina is going to go long, 15-30. Thank you for the latest person to hit subscribe. So, 15-30. Backhand return from Eala's not bad. Decent forehand up the line, but now cross court from Eala. It's a good one. A little stumble there from Rybakina, but she's going to miss the drive volley, Eala. It was a great chance for her to get to 15-40. It was a tough drive volley, to be fair. She was trying to take the initiative. I don't necessarily think it was in the wake of Rybakina's slight stumble, but I can see the opportunity there. Anyway, 30 all. She's been on the limit today, has Alex. Good serve down the tee, but she's going to clip the net, so I think it's going to be another first serve for Elena Rybakina. What a hell of a return, by the way, from Alex Eala. Doesn't make any difference because the point is immaterial. Anyway, 30 all. Still a first serve here for Elena. Good serve down the tee, but it's also going to click the net as well. Eala now will think, listen, I've done my bit because she got both of those returns in play. So give me a second serve, please. Not going to get a second serve. It's going to be looped up. It's going to land in on the forehand now for Rybakina. She goes cross court there rather than going down the line. Into the forehand now. It's on the backhand of Eala, which does really well given the depth. That's a really good one there. Eala defends. That's not going to land in, so 40-30. 40-30. Thank you for the latest subscriber as well. As you see, every time you hit subscribe, you will see this number change. And you'll know it was you that made the difference. And you can do a little dance and celebrate knowing that you have made that difference. And to us, you're more than a number. Game point here for Rybakina, 40-30. Hour and 28 minutes on the clock. Misses the first serve. So second serve here for Eala to look at. Good forehand return from her, but it's into the strike zone of Rybakina. And that's going to go long from Eala. So it is 5-3. And from Love, was she Love? No, it was, she was 15-30, wasn't she? She was 15-30 and very much down in the rally was Rybakina. So from that moment, you're thinking, well, we could get back on serve here. But now, I think Rybakina and her fans can breathe a sigh of relief and know that she's just one game away. Eala here now on the tightrope, bearing in mind she's got a serve to stay in the match. Eala serves. She'll want to get a bunch of first serves, but that first serve wasn't really good enough. And it's made her down in this point, but now it's still down in the point, but still fighting. Rybakina drive volley puts it away, does she? Yes, more or less. Not cleanly, but enough to win the point. That first serve from Alex, yes, it landed in, but it landed far too comfortably into the service box. It could be a sign of fatigue as much as anything else. I don't necessarily think she was being intentionally cautious with that first serve. I actually think, if anything, it was just fatigue from Eala, meaning it wasn't quite as potent as she would hope. Let me tell you now, when you're tired, serving takes it out of you. She misses the first serve there, Eala. So second serve for Rybakina to look at. Rybakina's ready to attack this with a good backhand return, which she makes. Now the backhand up the line is going to be too good. Love 30. Eala sensing the opportunity. Sorry, Rybakina sensing the opportunity to get this done without even having to serve it out. Love 30 on the Eala serve. Dead on 1.5 hours. Just too good there. Rybakina. Return. And then that backhand down the line. Unerring. Okay, Eala serves. She gets that first serve in again, but again, too comfortable for Rybakina. She's up in this point as a result, but is she going to make that forehand? No, she's going to miss it. 15-30. Just. She was down in the point, and Rybakina really gifted that in a way, because Rybakina probably makes that, and whatever happens, Eala's not going to get it back in play. And we're at love 40, but instead we're at 15-30. I don't think Rybakina will live to regret that. I think she'll get the job done either now or on her serve, but we'll see. 15-30. Still 2 points away from the win for the Kazakh. Where are you going to go with this serve, Eala? Gets it in play. Okay, we're into the rally right now. Exchanging. Ooh, Eala dumps her backhand into the net. Tired looking backhand. And now we have 2 match points for Elena Rybakina, the number 2 seed, the number 1 in the race this year. So the best player on the WTA Tour from the whole year. And she now has 2 match points for a spot in the round of 16 to play either Laura Siegemund or Karolina Pliskova, who'll be playing shortly. Okay, 15:40. Eala serves down the tee, backhand return onto the backhand of Eala. Forehand from Rybakina up the line is too clean and too difficult for Eala, that's for sure. Alex goes down 6-4, 6-3, but she can hold her head up high after what was a stellar performance from her in a stellar tournament. But it is Elena Rybakina who progresses in straight sets. In a little over an hour and a half, she takes the acclaim of the crowd. Rightly so. She was the better player. I would give her performance still only a 6 out of 10. She can play better, but she played well enough to see off Alex Eala today. And ultimately, Eala has to dust herself down. Is that the last time we're going to see Eala before the French Open? The French Open gets underway 2 weeks today. Will she just practice at the Nadal Academy for the next 2 weeks? Will she play the WTA 125 in Parma? My advice would be, as long as you're feeling okay physically, and I think today, at times, in that second set, she did just start to tire, understandably so. She was on the absolute limit on so many occasions, and it feels like she did have to run a little bit more than her opponent Rybakina did today. But if she's okay, she has got the energy to play 1 or 2 more matches, I would get off to Parma and play some matches and try and get some more points. Because those points could be vital, whether it be seeding at the French Open or perhaps looking at the longer game regarding the opportunity to be seeded for Wimbledon, which I think is very possible. Having to match her exploits of last year on the grass court tour will be difficult. As for Rybakina, she just goes on. She's the 2023 champion. She'll fancy her chances against Siegemund or Pliskova in the next round. She knows what it takes to win, and especially here in Rome. And she's a contender, not just in Rome, but also at the French Open. As for Alex's performance today, honestly, it's one of her best performances ever. I have watched Alex Eala play 50 or 60 tennis matches over the last 15 months. I've watched nearly every Eala match, and I can tell you categorically that is one of her best performances. It's her best performance on a clay court. She had 6 matches on the clay last year. She won 2 of those matches. I saw some of those matches. I saw 2 of those matches in person that she played last year, and I saw the others on TV, and that's the best she's ever played on a clay court. Regarding the stats from this particular encounter, Eala hit 17 winners and 22 unforced errors. Rybakina hit 28 winners and 32 unforced errors. Eala got the break of serve from Rybakina. She gets back in that second set. She was down a break, but she gets it back on serve. Yes, Rybakina broke the Eala serve 4 times, but she only did so once. She only got 2 break points on the Eala serve in the first set. Eala serving as well as she could. The problem for Alex was she was putting in her 9 out of 10, whilst Rybakina was putting in her 6 for probably the first set and a half. Eala was on the limit, redlining, pushing herself. It meant that just a little bit of fatigue crept in towards the end of the match, hence some of those unforced errors in that last couple of games. But she did what she could. She pushed. The best player in the world on the tour on Eala's easily weakest surface. And in fact, although it's comfortably Eala's best performance on this surface over the last 15 months on the main tour and on the WTA 125 tour, I honestly think it's not hyperbolic to suggest that was one of Eala's best performances I have seen her do on the main tour over the last 15 months since that breakout run in Miami. I know she beat Iga Swiatek in Miami. I know she beat Elena Ostapenko in Miami. I know she pushed Jessica Pegula at the same tournament in the semifinals. I know she had some great matches on the grass last year, and I know that her performances in beating Clara Towson as well and to some of her wins at the US Open, that is, of course, to get her first Grand Slam win, and some of her wins this year in the Middle East and also Indian Wells. Paolini is the one that stands out for me as well, but Paolini is off it. Get the comments in the comments below. Am I getting too carried away with Eala's level in this tournament in particular today? I don't think I am. I just think that you've got to remember the opponent, and you've got to remember where Eala's game is at on clay and where it will always be at, in my opinion. As for Rybakina, deserved win. She can play better. She will play better. And I think she's looking good for a run potentially to the final. I'm going to have a quick look at the draw in terms of her potential sort of quarterfinals and semifinals. This is assuming, of course, that she keeps going. She's in the bottom half of the draw, so even though Sabalenka's out, in terms of the route to the final, it won't make much difference. But Rybakina is going to play, as I said, the winner of Siegemund and Pliskova in the next round. And then in the quarterfinal, she'll play Svitolina or Bartonkova. Honestly, I would expect it to be Svitolina. That'll be tough. That'll be tough for Rybakina. And then if she was to get through that, the semi-final, Osaka, Potapova, Pegula. I don't think any of those should frighten Rybakina. But of course, Swiatek is a semi-finalist. That would be the most likely semi-finalist. So Swiatek, of course, has got to beat Cocciaretto today. And then Swiatek will have to play Naomi Osaka, which would be just epic. And a rematch, of course, of their French Open match of 2024, which was one of the best matches of that year, no doubt about it. So look forward to that. Fingers crossed they can produce another one if they end up playing each other. Cocciaretto will have other ideas. So that is the path to the semifinals. And then in the final, who is the strongest player in the top half right now? Coco Gauff, maybe, but her form is off. At Mino Andreeva, maybe the most likely one from that top half. So in the top half, one of these players is making the final. Chastaya, Noskova, Kalinskaya, Ostapenko, Gauff, Jovic, Mertens, or Andreeva. But that's pretty deep, you know, it's pretty good depth there. Noskova, 13th seed, is playing great on this surface at the moment. Ostapenko, on any given day, can be the best tennis player in the world, but the next day she can be the worst. Gauff, French Open winner, unbelievable on this surface. I think Gauff beats Jovic, we'll see. Mertens will give a really stiff test for Mino Andreeva, but Mino Andreeva, number 4 in the race, I think. Mino, so propelled by her runs to the final in Madrid, and then obviously winning the Linz title just recently on the clay, and had a decent run as well in Stuttgart. So, yeah, that is that. Anyway, thanks for joining today. For those of you of an Alex Eala persuasion, commiserations, but know this. She played fantastically in this tournament, did as well as she could. She redlined today. She pushed herself to the limit, and she pushed the best player in the world on the WTA tour this year. But it is Rybakina who prevails. 6-4, 6-3. Thanks for joining us today. And you know the drill. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to check out our sister channel, Talking United. Okay? Please hit subscribe on Talking United as well as Talking Tennis. This is the Talking United link, which I'm just posting for you in the live chat. Please do hit subscribe on that as well. We would really appreciate it. If you love soccer or football, if you like Manchester United, but even if you just like soccer or football in general, please, we need subscribers. Look how many subscribers we've got on Talking United, 78. And we're heading closer to 30,000 here. We'll have lots more tennis for you to come. We'll have matches involving Alex Eala, but also other matches where we have live watch-alongs and analysis. And yeah, also a bit more of a promo. Also give us a follow on Instagram at Talking Tennis TT. We do appreciate all of your support across all of our platforms. We're also on TikTok as well, where we're just simply Talking Tennis. Thanks for joining, and you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.